Today is the 24th of March, and I want to say a few words about last night's declaration of the lockdown, the 3-week lockdown starting on Thursday night, made by the state president. Now, clearly this lockdown is going to cause a tremendous amount of difficulties. People will be unemployed, businesses may need to close down, hopefully temporarily. So there's tremendous economic consequences to the lockdown. In addition, many people are apprehensive, there's a lot of anxiety. Now, I really want to explain what is the background to this drastic, bold plan and how effective is it going to be in curbing the epidemic. Now, if you look at the epidemic itself, it is really rapidly expanding. If you look at global figures, the first 100,000 cases took about 3 months. The second 100,000, to take it up to 200,000 cases, was in the following 12 days. The third 100,000 probably in a few days. So we see a rapid, exponential just about expansion of the epidemic. We see this in South Africa as well. In fact, in South Africa, the epidemic has grown quite a lot faster. In the 8 days since the declaration of disaster by the state president, we've gone from 61 cases up to 552 cases. In other words, a 9-fold increase. And even globally, it's gone from 160,000 cases to 332,000 in this 8-day interval. So if we don't intervene, if there's not this drastic action, what could happen? What is the worst case scenario if there's no intervention, if there wasn't this lockdown? And to try and answer this question, a number of models have been constructed, one by the University of Stellenbosch, one by the Department of Physics at Wits University. I'll talk to the latter. They looked at a figure of 100 locally transmitted cases. In other words, if nothing is done, and we are nearing 100 locally transmitted cases. Fortunately, at the moment, we're still in the early stage of the epidemic, where most of the cases are either imported or contacts of those imported. But once you get to 100 locally transmitted cases, they've mathematically projected that the epidemic itself would expand rapidly to involve something like 100,000 cases in a matter of 20 to 30 days, or even 1 million cases in 40 days. And that would be about 20 to 30,000 deaths, provided that we have good healthcare that can actually cope with it, maybe even higher than that. So we need to look, why is this epidemic expanding so rapidly? What is the scientific basis for it? It really is simply that this is a new virus disease in the human population, introduced into the human population, and because it's new, we've never seen it before, the global population is now totally susceptible. It therefore spreads very, very rapidly in the human population. It's what we call a virgin soil epidemic. There have been cases of this before, for example, in the 19th century when measles were introduced into the island of Tierra del Fuego in South America, where that measles epidemic wiped out the total Indian population completely. Now, that's obviously not going to happen with coronavirus. We're now in the 21st century. But nevertheless, a susceptible population allows the virus to spread very rapidly. And we know it has been already established that for every infected case, 2 to 3, maybe 3 to 4 susceptible individuals will get infected. The idea of the lockdown is to try and break that transmission chain, to try and break that number of susceptibles who get infected from an infected individual. And the only way one can really effectively do that is by locking people down, by trying to isolate or social isolation as much as possible. Obviously, one can't completely control the spread of infection, but by attenuating it to a low level, at least below the level where the healthcare system can cope with it. Now, something like this obviously imposes a tremendous amount on the population and does depend on population cooperation, on social cohesion, and we all need to do our part if this is really going to be a success. Thank you.